News from Minnesota-St Mankato this week, facing about a $22 million budget deficit. Tuition increases coming, staff cuts, faculty, impacts potentially on academic programs, trying to figure out how to deal with that reality that a lot of higher education institutions are facing here. Let's bring in our guest, the president of MSU Mankato, Dr. Edward Inch. Thanks for being with us. My two sons, both been students at your university. I saw you speak this past May at a commencement. I'm familiar with your campus, let's say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're very proud of our campus. There's a lot of good work that goes on here. Yeah,
and they both enjoyed their time there very much. As I know, a lot of students, I mean, you have some, 18,000 students enrolled there. This is news now that you're facing a pretty severe deficit, $22 million shortfall for the coming biennium. And you put out a video too that I watched saying, addressing this, in which you said that these are very, very difficult decisions. The pain these decisions will cause, but they are necessary.
Yeah, the choice we're making is to get stable now so that we can protect our future, to make sure that we have a stable base, that we've right-sized the budget to meet what our program needs and what our students need to move forward. So this is a correction that will help us get to a place that will be stronger.
But in the meantime, you mentioned the pain. Let's talk about what the impact on the university will be, both to the faculty and the staff, and to maybe the programs or offerings for the students.
Well, this is a tight-knit community, and the people that choose to work here work because of a passion for educating our students. They're dedicated to the work that they do. You don't want to let those people go, and we've worked over the last 2 years to try to right-size the best we can without having to let people go, but that you run into an imbalance that has to be addressed at some point or just keep compounding. And so the decisions we made this last week were to get us to a place where we should be able to be stable moving forward.
But what are the impacts then on staff and faculty? In the end, I know you're hoping that eliminating some open positions, but what is the total impact on jobs affected?
There are 60 positions that won't move forward, 17 through layoff or retrenchment, and the rest are either we're not going to fill vacant positions or we've eliminated vacant positions. But all of those positions, to your point, had a job. They were doing things, and so you let some of those jobs go away, and you're not doing some things, or you're asking people to take on more, and there's only so much that you can do with that.
What is then the impacts potentially on education offerings at MSU Mankato? Are there programs that will be eliminated or departments that will be slimmed down?
So 2 years ago, we went through a process of evaluating our academic portfolio to answer exactly that question about which programs should go forward. And so 2 years ago, we went through the process of eliminating 87 degree and certificate programs that were not enrolling well. And we were able to deploy some of that, some of those resources to support programs that were growing and serving a lot of students. So those choices got made last year. This is now just evening up the budget tails that have to be addressed.
Okay. Tuition increase set to go up this fall. How much will that cost students coming to MSU Mankato?
That's 6.3%, so it'd be about $520.
Okay, and I know the history here is reading through this that that in the past, the money coming from the state legislature accounted for, say, 2/3 roughly of the educational costs. Now that state funding is about 1/3 of the cost, and
That's correct.
You pointed at that as being a major factor for the situation that you're in.
It is, because as state funding has decreased, we ask our students to pay more, but that's a real challenge because the more tuition goes up, the fewer students are going to be able to afford that, or the more they will go into debt. And, we saw this coming, with this biennium, the forecast for what the budget in Minnesota is going to look like didn't look very good. And so that's why we began the process on portfolio review a couple of years ago, was to prepare for this. But The cuts are still they're still steep, and they need to be addressed now so that we don't have a ripple effect later and have to take more dramatic and more drastic cuts.
Yeah, and then lastly here, as we look beyond in the future of higher education, the value of education, and as we continue on with budgetary issues from the state, how do we continue on to make sure students get the quality of education that they need, but in a way that they can afford and doesn't leave them in debt for years to come?
Well, that's going to be the challenge that we're facing. In fact, we've engaged with all of the employees across our campus and our community members about how do we redesign the model with which higher education here operates. There are some opportunities we have to bring in different sources of revenue that we can start building on more to offset some of the loss that we have in state funding. We have a project going on the south side of campus we call the Future State, which will be revenue producing as a community center for festivals, concerts, sports events, medical clinics, those types of things that will bring in some revenue to campus. We can do more of that. And so our goal is to figure out what are the options we have in order to offset losses in state funding.
Difficult positions that you're put in, but you take that job knowing that that's part of the job.
No lie.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's worth it. We serve students well here. And we produce 30% of the baccalaureate degrees of our system, 40% of the graduate degrees. We're proud of that. And there's good work to be done, but these are hard choices now.
Thanks for taking time, Dr. Edward Inch, the president of Minnesota State University Mankato. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Okay.